Genesis chapter 15. After these things the word of Jehovah came to Abram in a vision, saying, Do not fear, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward will increase greatly. And Abram said, Lord, Jehovah, what will you give to me, since I am going childless, and the son of the inheritance of my house is Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, Behold, you have given no seed to me, and lo, the son of my house is inheriting of me. And behold, the word of Jehovah came to him, saying, This one shall not be your heir, but he that shall come forth out of your own bowels shall be your heir. And he brought him outside, and said, Look now at the heavens, and count the stars, if you are able to count them. And he said to him, So shall your seed be. And he believed in Jehovah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said to him, I am Jehovah, who caused you to come out of Ur of the Chaldeans, to give you this land to inherit it. And he said, My Lord Jehovah, by what shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said to him, Take for me a heifer 3 years old, and a she-goat 3 years old, and a ram 3 years old, and a turtle-dove, even a nestling. And he took all these for him, and he divided them in the middle, and he laid each piece against one another, but he did not divide the bird. And the birds of prey came down on the carcasses, and Abram drove them away. And it happened as the sun was setting, and a deep sleep fell on Abram, and behold, a terror of great darkness falling on him. And he said to Abram, You must surely know that your seed shall be an alien in a land not theirs, and they shall serve them. And they shall afflict them 400 years. And I also will judge that nation whom they shall serve, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. And you shall come to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age. And in the 4th generation they shall come here again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it was, the sun had gone down, and it was dark. Behold, a smoking furnace, and a torch of fire that passed between those pieces. In that day Jehovah made a covenant with Abram, saying, I have given this land to your seed, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates. The Kenite, and the Kenizzite, and the Cadmonite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Girgashite, and the Jebusite. Matthew chapter 15. Then the scribes and Pharisees came to Jesus from Jerusalem, saying, Why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they do not wash their hands when they eat bread. But answering, he said to them, Why do you also transgress the command of God on account of your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor your father and mother, and the one speaking evil of father or mother, by death let him die. But you say, Whoever says to the father or the mother, 'A gift, whatever you would gain from me,' and in no way he honors his father or his mother, and you annulled the command of God on account of your tradition. Hypocrites! Well did Isaiah prophesy concerning you, saying, 'This people draws near to me with their mouth, and with their lips honor me, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the ordinances of men.' And calling near the crowd, he said to them, 'Hear and understand. It is not that which has entered into the mouth that defiles the man, but that which has come out of the mouth, this defiles the man.' Then coming, the disciples said to him, 'You know that hearing the saying, the Pharisees were offended.' But answering, he said, 'Every plant which my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up. Leave them alone. They are blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both will fall into a pit.' And answering, Peter said to him, 'Explain this parable to us.' But Jesus said, 'Are you also still without understanding? Do you not yet perceive that everything entering into the mouth goes into the belly and is thrown out into the waste bowl? But the things which have come out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and these defile the man. For out of the heart come forth evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, lies, blasphemies. These things are the things defiling the man, but eating with unwashed hands does not defile the man.' And going out from there, Jesus withdrew to the parts of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan coming forth from those borders cried out to him, saying, 'Have pity on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is vilely demon-possessed.' But he did not answer her a word. And coming near, his disciples asked him, saying, 'Send her away, for she cries out after us.' But answering, he said, 'I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.' But coming, she worshipped him, saying, 'Lord, help me.' But answering, he said, 'It is not good to take the bread of the children and to throw it to the little dogs.' But she said, 'Yes, Lord, for even the little dogs eat of the crumbs falling from the table of their lords.' Then answering, Jesus said to her, 'O woman, your faith is great. Let it be to you as you desire.' And her daughter was healed from that hour. And moving from there, Jesus came beside the Sea of Galilee. And going up into the mountain, he sat there. And great crowds came to him, having with them those lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others. And they flung them down at the feet of Jesus, and he healed them, so that the crowds marveled, seeing the dumb speaking, the maimed sound, the lame walking, and the blind seeing. And they glorified the God of Israel. But having called near his disciples, Jesus said, I am filled with pity on the crowd, because they already have remained with me 3 days and have nothing they may eat. And I do not desire to send them away fasting, that they may not faint in the way. And his disciples said to him, From where in a desert will come to us so many loaves as to satisfy so great a crowd? And Jesus said to them, How many loaves do you have? And they said, 7, and a few small fish. And he ordered the crowds to recline on the ground, and taking the 7 loaves and the fish, giving thanks, he broke and gave to his disciples, and the disciples to the crowd. And all ate and were satisfied. And they took up the left-over pieces, 7 lunch baskets full. And the ones eating were 4,000 men, besides women and children. And sending away the crowds, he went into the boat, and came to the borders of Magdala.